Hey everyone, welcome to Sal Travels. Today I'm going to show you guys how to cross from the San Ysidro, San Diego border into Tijuana, Mexico. So the first thing I do is I park at the parking lot here across the street from the outlets. So if you just search the outlets, you take the last exit in California, you take that exit and make that first right at the light. That parking lot at the corner is where I park. The prices depend on the day and the time, but for the most part it's pretty affordable. So I'm crossing into Tijuana from the border crossing that's called PedWest, Pedestrian West. There is a Ped East. I'm not sure if it's about to close or if it's being remodeled, but I usually cross from Ped West because it's now become easier than the way it used to be, if anybody's familiar. So this way you can cross here, you can hit the outlets for some food before you cross or after you cross. There's a money exchange right here in the corner, and if you're interested, there's also a car insurance, like a Mexican car insurance thing, depending on what your situation is. Once you cross over, you'll be on this is called Virginia Avenue. This is where you would keep walking into Mexico, but I'm going to go across the street into the Mexican insurance place, which is also a money exchange. As of this day, early April, the money exchange rate was 18.28. Most of the time, recently it's been in the high 19s, but it fluctuates. It'll never get below 18, at least for the time being. So like I said, this is San Ysidro. It's safe. If anybody has never been here before, you can park your car. There's a secure parking lot. Nothing's ever really happened to me in particular here. The outlets are great. They have great stores. They're placed there so people cross from Mexico and shop, with their tourist visa. But for my sake, I don't use these outlets. I go to the outlets where I live in Los Angeles, California. So here we go, we're crossing back, and now we can walk along Virginia Avenue. I usually walk on this side because this is the side that has the entrance, but you can walk on the other side and go around. There is a roundabout at the end of this street, so you won't get lost. If you just keep walking straight like I am now, you'll just hit the wall, so you'll have to go either into Mexico or turn back. And as you're walking here, you can see to the right there's a street of pickups and drop-offs. There's a bus station. Across the street from this bus station is the Uber pickup area. That's where you would pick up your Uber if you were to come back from Mexico and need to take an Uber back to wherever you're going. This bus stop services, the San Ysidro routes, and there's also a $1 bus that goes through San Ysidro, I believe. Once you pass this bus stop is when you'll see all the hustle and bustle. You'll see the exit from the border crossing, and you also see the entrance. So now also you'll see like a security gate, and then you'll see a line of people that are in line to get their Sentry, which is a expedited pass, or their permits. So you can see on the left here it says to Mexico, so that's where we're walking towards. At this point, once you cross this to Mexico threshold, you can still come back. You won't get in trouble if you decide to turn back and come back. This long corridor, it's okay to come back into San Ysidro. But once you hit the turnstiles there up ahead, once you go past those turnstiles, then you'll have to, I guess, go all the way around to get back into the US. in case you forget something in your car or decide not to go to Mexico, whatever reason you have. Okay, so now we're going through the two turnstiles here, and we'll see the sign that says, well, in Spanish it says Puerto Fronterizo El Chaparral, border crossing El Chaparral. We call it PedWest. So down this long corridor, you'll be walking on this for about 5 minutes, maybe less. On the right side, you'll see the signs for Mexican citizens, and on the left side, you'll see visitors or foreigners. So once you see that, this is meant for, if there is a long line to get into the country of Mexico, you'll have to form these lines on the left and right. But for the most part, 90% of the time, these will be full, with the exception of maybe some weekend nights. But you'll be able to just walk through this, in a breeze, and towards the end, you'll have to decide if you're going on the Mexican national line or on the foreigners line. So here we're about to cross on the foreigner side. Usually on weekends there will be an officer here kind of directing traffic. A lot of people try to go through the Mexican side, Mexican national side, and pass it off as being a national of Mexico without having to do all the paperwork. But at this point, you do need to have your passport book or passport card out. If you don't have that, I don't think they'll let you cross. Come up to one of these windows and you'll fill out a form, kind of like it's a visa. Tell him how many days you're here, and he'll put how many days the visa is for. Usually for 7 days, they'll just put it. So I have my passport card, so that's the way I cross to and back. It's just easier that way. So fill out the form. It just asks you some general, address, where you're going, how many days, passport number, birth date, male, female, and full name. You have to sign in both areas, top and bottom, and then from there, give that to the officer. He stamps it, and that's your visa. That visa, you can come back and forth for 7 days without having to do that process all over again. At which point, once you're done with that, you're going to go through the customs. Here you're going to put any bags and luggage you have, check through the x-ray, and they'll let you through for the most part. Unless you have something really suspicious, then obviously they'll stop you. After that, you hit these double doors and you're in the Mexico side. I'm going to follow signs for Tijuana, which, by the way, it's Tijuana. It's not pronounced Tijuana with a W or Tijuana like a lot of people say. It's pronounced Tijuana. The J is pronounced like a H, so you say Tijuana. If you say in Spanish, it's Tijuana. I say Tijuana, but a lot of people say Tijuana. Like, I don't know where that A came from, but I'm basically just talking while I'm walking up the ramp. On the left side there is where the tours, the bus tours, pick up and drop off. You go up this ramp. You're gonna follow this ramp. It's very easy. It's a one-way thing. You can't get lost. And if you do happen to make a mistake and you need to go back, you don't have to do that whole process. Come up this ramp, and right here where it splits left, you can actually tell this officer here and make a right. You make a sharp right, and you see, if you see on the other side of this barricade, people are walking to the right. Those people are going back into the US. So you can actually jump this fence or go around and join them to go back. You don't have to go all the way out and then back in. That's only if you make a mistake. But if you're going straight into Mexico, you go right here where I'm walking, you go straight. On the left, you see here some cars. Those are the cars that are crossing. Let me think. I'm not sure if they're crossing into Mexico or into the US, but that is a line, to go through immigration. Right on the right, you can see one of the army dudes with the rifle. It's kind of a culture shock if it's your first time, but they're there for your protection. They don't really say anything. They don't tell anybody anything. They're just kind of standing there. So once you go up the ramp, you go across, you're going to go back down a ramp. So you go down, and you can see Tijuana on the right there in the distance, and that's where we're headed. This parking lot is not for anybody visiting. This is just for officials only. And you can see on the left, the far left there, you can see the ramp coming back up to go back in the US. It's a pretty straightforward process. You just have to know where to go at first, and then you just follow everybody else that's walking in front of you. Follow the crowd if ever in doubt. Once you come down this last ramp, there's going to be another set of turnstiles, and those turnstiles, once you pass those, you're officially in Tijuana, Mexico. And from there, I'll show you guys right now, but you can buy some quick food. There's food, and there's a taxi stand. Make sure you know where you're going once you pass this, and I'm officially in Tijuana, Mexico. Make sure you know where you're going. I recommend Uber. It's what I recommend. It's what I use. At this point, I still have signal from the US if you're worried about that. Most plans these days have a Mexico US plan, but I call the Uber from here. I still have US signal, and I pick up the Uber and go where I'm going. These taxis here, they have a price set, but sometimes they try to rip you off because you're an American. Here's a Tijuana, Mexico sign. Take some pictures. Go have a good time in Tijuana. Everybody be safe out there, and I hope this video helped you in any way. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.